Hi, welcome back to Hostbox CS channel and back to computer architecture and organization series. Today we are going to continue the unit called accessing IO devices. The previous session I explained about the interface circuits. What are the two types of interface circuits? Input and output interface circuits were followed by the serial port and parallel port with real-time example and how it work. What are the connection between the keyboard to the monitor and so on. Today's session we are going to see the part 1, that is standard IO interfaces in computer architecture and organization. So when you go for the work with computers or laptop, whatever there, we need some interfaces. So you know thing, let's go for session today. Today's session definitely help you to learn the standard IO interfaces followed by the types of standard IO interfaces like PCI, SCSI, USB. Not only that one, what are the difference between one, what are the real-time example, or what are the real today market, what are the commons available in the area of computer science, and what are the peripheral devices, and what are the difference, how it work internally, what are the operations happen when you work in the computers, the backside of the computer. So when you go for this topic, we need support of some knowledge about the electrical little bit as well as the digital electronics and also general electronics. Let's go for some points here, and diagram is very important. If you prepare for university exam, definitely there will be a question from this area, maybe 5 mark or 7 mark or 6 mark, or compare they ask write a notes about the standard IO interfaces and so on. And here standard IO interface, here IO devices connect to a computer using an interface circuit, remember. So why IO device is connected in the computer means you need, if you want to connect the IO devices where there may be it may be a keyboard, printer, scanner, fax, whatever the device you want to connect with the computer or any pen drive, whatever there, we need support of interface circuit. Now the question arises, do you have to design a different interface for every combination of an IO device and computer? So is it possible to design different IO interface for different computers? Not possible. So that's what a practical approach is to develop the standard interfaces and protocols. So these standard interfaces count for all the computers, not only computer, most of the computers, types of computer like laptop, workstation, even supercomputers also same. Now a personal computer has, you know what, a motherboard which houses the processor chip, main memory and some IO interfaces. And a few connectors into which additional interfaces can be plugged here. And here the processor bus is defined by the signals on the processor chip, remember. And devices which require high speed connection to the processor connected directly to this bus also. Let's go for diagram also later. You understand it, because here because of electric reasons, only few devices can be connected directly to the processor bus. Motherboard usually provides another bus that support more devices. So you know in the computer, if you open the processor, what happened in the computer, what happened CPU, you have one important computer motherboard where it give it's a main interface and provides lot of connections. If you want to, if you have any problem in computers, what happened, they let them check the motherboard only. Here the processor bus and other bus called a expansion bus are connected by a circuit called bridge. Devices connected to the expansion bus experience a small delay in a data center, don't forget. And design of a processor bus is closely tied to the architecture of the processor. No uniform standard can be defined. So what are going to stand, we are going to discuss standard interfaces. These are developed when the computers introduced the world like that after end of 1990 and so on approximately. So the third one is USB is the one to tilt you are using. The first two we are using, but first one is out of date today. Just you have to now the basics. Now first one is the PCI, where a number of standards have been developed by the expansion bus here. Some have evolved by default. Who is the which are the companies developed starting means for example the IBM's industry standard architecture. These are people generally started and developed the PCI, that is peripheral common bus like that. The three widely used bus standards are PCI and SCSI, small computer system interface, at last USB. The USB will explain the next session. Let's go first two here. So here this is a very important main diagram. Let's assume that if you want to, let's assume that your laboratory or wherever you go in wherever you go in today office or anywhere, then you know what is there will be a processor, computer will be there, and in the computer will connect with always what, printer. Wherever you go, any travel office in the real time of or laboratory, what minimum, whatever the computers in laboratory, minimum You are connected with one printer or two printer at least, and there will be a scanner also. If you want to scan document, we need support of some input devices. So assume that, so this is the standard input interface communication. How the communication happen between the input device, input and output devices with the help of this interface mode. So here processor main memory where bridge is there. These are connected by the processor bus. Here what is the bridge here? It's a circuit that translate signals and protocols from the processor bus to the PCI bus. Remember. And next one is the PCI bus. What is the PCI bus? It expands. It's the expand bus on the motherboard. Remember. Here these processor main memory and PCI bus are connected with a bridge where followed by the components called additional memory, SCSI controller, Ethernet, USB controller, and this here. Then ideal disk and USB. Some USB will discuss later. Anyhow, try to get the video and the keyboard, GAM, anything you want support a USB here. And SASI controller have SASI and the disk controller and CD-ROM. Here CD controller connect with the CD-ROM and disk controller connect with the disk and disk on disk. These SASI controller and disk controller and this CD-ROM controller are supported by connected with the help of SASI bus here, and disk controller and CD-ROM connect with the help of disk 1, disk 2, CD-ROM like that. So upcoming slides we see the detail. Then we'll back to diagram here. Then PCI, that is what? Peripheral Common Interconnect. We are going to see the basics, and also we are going to discuss some operations. Here these are one were introduced in the 1992. Remember, this is always called the synchronous bus architecture. Here it's a low cost bus introduced in 1992, low cost bus and processor independent and plug and play capability. What is do you know, in today computers most memory transfers involve a bus stop data transfer rather than just one word. The PCI is designed primarily to support this mode of operation. So what is meant by plug and play capability? I am requesting you students, please take notebook and write whenever start to give the lecture. Sometime I won't say the part, sometime I will say in the simple English and very easy. Some of the points it won't be available in the PPT and this lecture, but you can write, listen, pause the video and write. This definitely help for the exam and future. If you go for any competitive exams or state government also, 10 to 20% questions asked from the basics of computers only. If you are stream of computers engineering, your knowledge is must and have a good knowledge in the CSE and field of CO and all other subjects of programming knowledge also. Let's come here. So you know, plug and play capability is what? Whenever connect the computers, it will ensure the transaction, it will ensure the operation very fast. So for example, if you connect keyboard, what happen? You can activate immediately and connect it. That's the help of PCI only, peripheral device in the computer. We can connect and the data transfer happen very as soon as possible, immediately. So if you not connect, it can disconnect. So if you remove the keyboard, if you remove the mouse, what happen? No, it will disconnect automatically. Whenever connect, you can do the operation. That is called plug and play capability. And also the bus support 3 independent address spaces called memory, IO and configuration. We assume that the master contains address information on the bus until data transfer is completed. But the address is needed only long enough for the slave to select it. Thus the address is needed on the bus for one clock cycle only, freeing the address lines to be used for sending data in subsequent clock cycles. The result is a significant cost reduction. Remember, a master is called an initiator in PCI terminology. So whenever do operations in the PCI, we have now put some signal strategy called initiator and so on. The address device that responds to read and write commands is called a target. So if you want to do any data transfer in with the help of PCI small computer, remember it's a very small computer where it follows the synchronous bus architecture. Remember, and also support the plug and play. If you want to do data transfer, we have to initiate the signal called initiator, and if you from one place to another place, sending the another place called target. Let's give the diagram also. Data transfer signals is start from the supported by clock and start from the initiator as well as target initialization. Let's go for the diagram. There we will get idea. So this is the read operation on the PCI bus. Let's the practical inside the practical example don't write. Suppose you are using the computer in the PCI, the system was small computer. PCI is connected with your peripheral and computers, Suppose you are connecting keyboard or you are connecting the print or something, you are doing some work, that data transfers. How it happen means, first step, the clock will be there. The clock generate the signals continuously, clock signal 1, signal 2 and so on. Here what happen, once the frames enabled here, once the frame enabled here, data transfer will be started. And also the data transfer go and check the address here, and also address, whether the address is matching or not, has 1, has 2 and so on there. After matching only, the control signal move to the device, and go for a further transactions, further data transfer. After it get the ready and replay the target, at the target stage, the data transfer will be completed. At last, all the confused devices, here data transfer happen at the end of the read operation. So reading the data, clock will be there and followed by frame, where frame check the addresses. After getting the control signal properly, command, instruction, everything, it will go to the byte enable stage. At last, it will be completed with the help of target signal. So these are the read operation of the PCI bus. Now device configuration. So when an IO device is connected to a computer, several actions needed to configure both the device and the software that communicate with it. So PCI incorporates in each IO device interface a small configuration ROM memory that stores information about device. Remember, when you go for PCI connectivity, the device configuration and all the information will be stored in the ROM only. Remember. So when you go, there will be a, if you real time, don't write it the exam. If you go there, you can go and check the settings. If you ask hardware engineer or system admin, they try to help you, where you can go and check the details of the ROM. Internally you can go and check the properties of the ROM and ROM everything. There you can check the configuration of the PCI. But remember, today these technologies are out of date. So PCI rarely using some places. Here the configuration of all devices are accessible in the configuration address space only. And you know this. And what is this of here? Ethernet interface. Whenever you want to connect internet or any other network, we need support of Ethernet interface or a disk controller. If you want to connect CD or a floppy disk or anything, here devices are assigned addresses during the initiation process only. This means that during the bus configuration operation, devices cannot be accessed based on their address, or they have not been assigned one. Hence, the configuration address spaces use a different mechanism. Remember, each device has an input signal called an initialization device. Select ID cell has like that. Or follow some electrical characteristics also. Then we come to the SCSI. Here, this is a small computer system interface. Let's go discuss some point, then go for the diagram. Back to the diagram here. What is SCSI? It's referred to a standard bus defined by the American National Standard Institute under the designation X3.131. In the original specification of the standard, devices such as disk are connected to the computer via 50-wire cable. Remember, which can be up to 25 meters in length and can transfer data at up to the 5 megabytes per second. The SCSI bus standard has undergone many revisions, and the data transfer capability has increased very rapidly, almost doubling every 2 years. So the SCSI one well developed from the help of ANSI, the National Institute, and every 2 years once they have some updates SCSI components. Because of various options, SCSI connector may have 50, 60, 68 or 80 pins also. Here devices connected to the SCSI bus are not part of the address space of the processor, and here is connected to the processor through a SCSI controller. This controller uses DMA to transfer data packet from main memory to the device, or the vice versa. What is the packet here? A packet may contain a block of data, commands from the processor to the device, or status information about the device. So let's assume that we have interface, SCSI interface, as well as you can connect with the peripheral, any peripheral like printer or scanner, whatever the hardware input output is, can get keyboard, mouse. So here that is important. And here the control connected to the SCSI bus in two types, one is called initiator or target. An initiator has the ability to select a particular target and to send commands specifying the operations to be performed here. Here disk controller operates at the target, it carries out the commands, it receives the initiator. And also what happens after getting the initiator establishes a logical connection with the intent target. Once the connection has been established, all the connection happen, what will happen then? It can be suspended and restored, need to transfer commands and bus stop data. While a particular connection is suspended, other device can use the bus to transfer information. The ability to overlap data transfer requests is one of the key feature of the SCSI bus that leads to its high performance also. So here data transfer, how the data transfer happen? Whenever try to do the data transfer between the SAS and the variable devices, it always controlled by the target controller. To send a command to the target, an initiator requests control of the bus, and after winning arbitration, select the control it wants to communicate with and hands control of the bus over it. Then the controller starts a data transfer operation to receive a command from the initiator. Let's assume that the processor need to read block of data from the disk drive, and the data are stored in disk sectors that are not continuous. The processor sends a command to the SASA controller which causes the following events to take place. Now, don't write for the exam. Let's assume that we have a SASA device where we connect with the computer, our monitor computer, and we are connecting the disk. For example, inserting the CD drive, and you are going to read the information. So if you want to read the information, what that is data transfer. How the data transfer happen? The operation of SSA I explained with some 10 steps here. And before going, we back to the diagram. So worst case, you are writing the university exam. Don't get panic. Just remember the diagram. If they ask general question, you can write directly about this diagram and directly explain some points about the SASA, USB and something. But when you ask particular describe the operations performed by PCI, or else explain briefly about PCI, means you can write all the points, or SASA means you write the all points with diagram must. So here just now I told you SASA controller were connected by with the help of SASA by SCSI bus and disk controller and CD-ROM. Remember, I want to say some of the additional points if you want to note in the notebook. Here SAS1, where it's a small computer interface, just I told you, it always follow the daisy chain scheme, daisy chain structure or scheme, where it's always based on the highest priority. So which one have highest priority, it will go to give the data transfer permission. So once system busy, what happen? It wait for some time and give the highest priority to the another one. After completing the second operation, it back to the first operation. Like that, it will continuously try to work it out. And also, if you have doubt about daisy chain, I already explained in the previous sections, lessons or lecture. You can check in the playlist and check it. Then it also how many. Now the question: how many devices you can connect with the help of ACSI? The small computer interface only we can connect maximum 8 to 16 devices. How many devices? We can connect 8 to 16 devices. And also what mechanism it is, it always using handshaking signal between the devices. It always uses handshaking signal for data transfer between the devices. If you want to do the data between devices, it always uses the handshaking signal. These are points you have additionally known about this SASA bus. So you know the diagram, and you can know the diagram. You can write yourself also. Let's go for the session here and in the PPT here. So here. Yes, SASA controller acting as an initiator control for the control bus. So here, same. So just now I told you, we highlighted some points here, and free time you can go and read it, because just now I told you, if you have any difficulty for understanding this question, just remember about inserting the. Assume that we have a computer or laptop or monitor, we connect with the SASA port and the SASA computer, and also one CD drive, or we can say the disk CD drive, and we are going to read the document. For example, a.txt, the file stored in the DVD, that are CD-ROM, is not in order. Somewhere, some page in somewhere and some page here. So whenever the operation happen, the backside of the computer SCSI do these operations. At last, what is your target? You have to read the document. You can view the a.txt file successfully like that. Then what are the phases involved in the SCSI? There are 4 phases there. One is called arbitration, another called selection, and another one is called information transfer, another one is called reselection. Here don't go deeply about this all topics. What are the phases means? First, arbitration means what? Here a controller recovers the bus by asserting BSY and by asserting its associated data line here. When BSY becomes active, all controllers are recovering the bus, examine the data lines. So let's check the diagram again. You can understand, you will get the clarity also. Then selection one. Selection phase here, the controller that have won arbitration select target by asserting SCL and data line of the target. After that, initiator releases BSY line. The target responds by asserting BSY line. Target controller will have control on the bus from then. So what are the operations? Just note, remember the operation of reading the data from the CD drive. That's it. Then information transfer. Here I told you just now, Handshaking signals are used between initiator and the target, and at the end target releases by BSY line here. And last, reselection. If you want, you can reselect and check the data again. At last, this is a data transfer diagram where whenever we work with the SCSA. So just now I told you we is in the phases and how the operation happening. This is just a electrical signal passing free arbitration and selection state, DBU2, DBU5, DB and so on, target examination and so on. So I hope that back to diagram here. I hope that you are understand about the idea about the processor and main memory, how they connected with the ELPA processor bus, where the processor bus and this processor main memory and these additional devices are connected with the ELPA bridge. What is the bridge and what are the how the bridge and these interfaces connect with the PCI successfully, and what is the PCI bus at last. We have idea about this good idea about the PCI as well as the SCSA, how it work and how it perform in real time life, how these components are helpful to work efficiently with the computers, and how to improve the if you want to improve the performance of the computer, we can go and change the components of the devices like interfaces like PCI told today out of date, we are not much using SCSA. What are the recent components? You can check the configuration purchase, because every SCSA component they have some updations. As soon as possible you can complete the task very fast here. So upcoming session definitely the USB very interesting. Today many of the computers using USB or laptops. You know, in the practical life without USB we can't do most of the operations in the computers like that. So any queries or anything, comments, you can connect with me social media anytime like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and YouTube, also comment box. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe and press bell icon for more updates. Thank you.